Hi there. Welcome to LKN Connect, People in the Know. I have a dear, I won't say old because she's younger than I am, friend who I've known for quite a while, who's had a very interesting journey. Today, I'm proud to introduce our person in the know, Jo Ames. And we'll find about her past that led her to create this wild and free journey of traveling, not just for women, but for couples too. But you do have one that's just for women, as I understand it. Am I correct?
It is very much for groups as well, but there's two parts to the business. So the one part is the tours, and those are for ladies. So I take small groups of women on tours to all sorts of places. And the other side is the travel concierge. So if you like the way I travel and the way I put together travel, I can put that together for individuals, for couples, for groups of friends that don't want to be with other groups, whoever wants anything. So for instance, if you wanted to go to Italy, I would sit down with you and say, so what are your interests? What do you want to have? What do you want to see? Do you like museums? Do you want to do all the eating and drinking? Is it important for you to go to the main sites, or would you like to see something more off the beaten track? And then what's your budget and what's your time frame? And then I will create the tour that will perfectly suit you and your budget, just for you. And that's totally free of charge because my income for those comes from the travel agency side. So it doesn't cost you a penny to have your travel or concierge planned by myself. And then you have me there if you have any problems while you're away.
Now, you were in photography.
I was a photographer. So I'm going to go back to my backstory because that's where the photography came into play. It's quite a tale. I was married in my late 20s. And my husband bought me my first camera because he knew I had a passion for photography. And I started taking photos, and I realized that I seemed to have an eye for an image. And we had made plans to travel and to do all sorts of things, and my camera was going to be coming with me. And unfortunately, he developed a brain tumor, and he passed away when he was 33 and I was not quite 27. As you can imagine, I know you've been there. It's devastating. It changes your life entirely.
Yes.
And one of the things that I took from that was that life is short. Like, we don't know what's going to happen in life. And I always had the passion for photography, always had a passion for travel. And so I decided that I would go and do all the traveling that we had planned just on my own. And originally I was meant to travel for 2 years with my camera, go take pictures and just kind of pull my life back together. But I somehow ended up traveling for most of my 30s. I was away for 9.5 years out of 11 years.
Wow.
Traveling constantly. So, and while I was traveling, I was taking lots of images and realized that actually travel photography was really where I was at. But when I later on in life had my son, I actually worked in portrait photography and did all sorts of photography. So a couple of years ago, my mother died, who had been a big inspiration. She actually traveled in the early 50s. I would say about 1952, she took the Queen Mary over to America, thinking she was going to emigrate over here. And then she met my dad just before she left, and they couldn't get him a visa to come. So she went back to marry my dad, but she'd actually left England in her 20s to take the Queen Mary over to America to come and live life here. So she was always a big traveler and a big take risks kind of person. So that's where the love of travel came from, that and my husband, and then the love of photography, and the two together have always gone hand in hand. But now I want to focus mainly on the travel side, but on my tours, because I want you to be able to relax, to actually have time to sit and take in the atmosphere of the places, to sit in a coffee shop and listen to the Portuguese speaking next to you, or the Moroccans talking to you, or watch the African animals on safari without worrying about constantly picking up your phone or your camera. I'm going to be doing all of that for people when we're out on tours and putting a book together for them at the end. So if you come on tour with me, not only will you have a lot of immersion into the culture and people, you'll have enough time to just sit and be still and have those moments to just take in the atmosphere or wander off by yourself occasionally, knowing that I'm taking all of the images and capturing all of the moments and producing a book for you at the end.
Well, you have created a need in the community. As you know, I'm single as well. And a lot of times I'm looking for things that I can do with other women and feel safe. And I don't have to organize it and all of
You
them.
don't have to do a
What
thing.
is your website if somebody wants to get a hold of you?
It's wildandfreejourneys.co, not .com, just .co.
I admire your journey. You've had a very interesting journey and
It's been a process.
a need that is just so out there.
Yes. And as you can tell, I'm not from here. We came over nearly 11 years ago now.
Right.
That was quite a story too. We came for a year and we're still here.
Well, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're here. Anything else you would like to add to this story?
I just think, it's quite important as a woman to feel, firstly, as you say, to feel safe when you go on a journey, on a trip. And we always have local guides. We have nice air-conditioned minibuses to travel around in. So everything is planned with utmost safety in mind.
Okay.
But on top of that, I think it's important, if you're going to go on a trip, some people like to go on their own, and I can plan that for them too. But if you're going with a group, it's nice to know that you've got like-minded people, because only people that want that slightly slower form of travel are going to come with me in the first place. It's not a booze cruise. It's very much an immersion into a culture, taking time to sit back and to do some behind the scenes things, like maybe go and cook in someone's house and have them show you how to make a local dish. Maybe, I know when we go to Morocco in September, our guide, when we stay in the desert, is taking us to an oasis, which is not many people know about it. And it's not far from where his camp is. And we're going off into the oasis where we can literally swim in the middle of the desert. So it's finding all those little special moments, putting it all together, and having people be in a small group of like-minded women, just having an amazing time and coming home and thinking to themselves, wow, that was Morocco. I've got a feel for Morocco now, or wow, that was the Italian coast, or wherever else we're going. But that they'd come home. And my plan really is that the people that travel with me will become part of a community, and we'll all have a place together, and people will probably see people that they've seen on one tour, maybe 2 or 3 years later on another tour.
Well, you filled a need, and I really appreciate what you're doing.
Thank you
for your time today.
It's been really fun.
Great to catch up with you.
Yes. And lovely to see your smiley face again.
Bye for now.